So now we're in one of our treatment rooms, and what we're gonna do is kind of demo how what we do works. But before we even get to this point, with our great and amazing volunteer Portia here, every single patient would have gone through a consultation with whatever practitioner they're seeing, history, diagnostic exam, laboratory analysis, and maybe some diagnostic imaging if it's needed or warranted, maybe some genetic testing, maybe some other types of testing, as well as what we're gonna do now, which is a muscle response test demonstration. We're looking at everybody at that triangle of health, so to speak, your physical side of your health, your biochemical nutritional side, and your mental emotional side. Because as we say in the human body, anything can cause anything. Let's say Portia had a migraine or a headache. There are physical reasons for that headache, nutritional reasons for that headache, or even emotional reasons for that headache. So let's say, God forbid, you're sitting at a traffic light and you're just waiting for the light to turn, but the person behind you decided they needed to check their phone, weren't looking, screeched right into you, hit you from behind. Now your head whiplashes, and now your nerves are interfered with, they're irritated, you have some neurological interference, you might have been concussed. Any of those things could have happened, now leading to a headache, though there's something structural causing or contributing to that headache. Let's say because of our diet, or not you, but let's say if we ate a lot of junk food, drank a lot of sodas and things, and we would have too much sugar and carbohydrates, we would deplete our minerals, we would deplete our B vitamins, and those deficiencies can potentially in some people lead to having chronic headaches, and that would be a nutritional deficiency reason for the headache. And let's say it might have been something emotional, let's say a stressful event. How emotions work is what you don't express, you'll repress till it expresses this disease or dysfunction. The saying is, if you're not testing, you're guessing. So we want to test everything we do to make sure what we're going to do is appropriate. So when you first look at muscle response testing, it's so wild looking. I've been doing this now for 31 years at the time of this filming, and to this day, it's still amazing that this works. But it just goes to show how smart the body is and how we were designed to be able to communicate with each other and get biofeedback real time as to what's working, what's not, what's happening, what's not. So there's so many different ways that muscles can be tested and so many different muscles, but here's a common one that we do day in and day out because it's simple on the patient, it's simple for us to test. So it's really your anterior deltoid, it's right over here, and basically it's gonna look like I'm pushing this arm down. It's not me against you where I'm like, come on, Portia. I just wanna see that you can hold it, okay? So I'm gonna hold it and stabilize this here. I'm gonna try and push this down. I want you to hold it up. So basically that's strong. So again, what I'm doing is I'm just feeling whatever resistance you supply. It's no different than like hold your hand up like this and I push, you push back. See, I didn't tell you to push back. It's just an unconscious thing that all humans do. It's a great relationship thing that we see over and over with people. So the push back is always there. So I'm testing the same thing. I didn't even have to tell you to do it. Well, you've done it 1,000 times, so maybe that's why you're doing it. So that's a strong muscle. Then what we do is we're going to show you what a weak muscle is. Now, there are reflexes all over the body. Some people call these acupuncture reflexes. There's different meridian access points. There's all these different names for it. How this works is that your body's mostly water. We've heard that before. Water conducts electricity. So it's kind of like, God forbid, if you were getting electrocuted and I touched you, I would probably get electrocuted too. So it would be a bad day for both of us, okay? But really that's how this works. And so there's all these different spots. So let's say right here, there's a spot for your lung. Let's say I touch the spot and I test your muscle. Let's say your muscle goes weak. It doesn't mean, oh my God, what's wrong with my lung? It just means that, hey, maybe there's something going on with this part of your body. Now, there's a lot of things here. It could be your lung, it could be your first rib, it could be your clavicle, it could be any of these muscles in here, it could be a tendon, it could be a meridian, it could be anything, but all we know is something's going on in that spot. But what we do is we show everybody a spot that traditionally is weak on them naturally. There's one spot on the human body when you test them, you're normally gonna see them weak, and that's like the bridge of your nose. Every culture has a different name for it, your third eye, whatever it is. It's basically where your energy goes in and out. It's a 0 point in Chinese medicine. So here's how it works. So if I'm testing you and that's strong, but you or I touch right here, and that starts to go weak. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with the bridge of your nose. It just means that you're connected to yourself. Basically, if people don't go weak when we touch them there, it's one of 4 reasons. Either they're schizophrenic, You went weak, so it's a good start for us. There are lots of psychotropic drugs. They're in shock, or they have severe PTSD, which is, in all those cases, they're things that dissociate us from our body, so we're not connected, which means it would be hard to actually even get information for you. The next thing we do, we test to see if your body's neurologically disorganized. So there's lots of different ways to do this. Depending on the practitioner you see, they may touch different reflexes here to check for that. Another simple way is just taking your thumb and your pinky and putting it together like that. I'm gonna test, and it's strong, so we open that up. Now we're gonna do it here. I'm gonna test the same muscle, and it's strong. So if one of those went weak, that means our body's neurologically disorganized. It means that there's something going on where our body's overloaded, and it's really in our best interest to actually look and figure out what that is before we look at the rest of the body. So those are the first two tests that we see a lot of the practitioners do when they're using muscle response testing. You may be seeing a practitioner that has a different analysis. Some people do resonant testing, where they'll actually use a little instrument where they actually get biofeedback from instead of doing muscle testing. Other people do palpatory analysis or pulse analysis. There's so many different ways, but this is one that you'll commonly see, and you commonly see us use with a variety of different techniques here at the clinic. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check all the circuits, so to speak. Just like before, when you're on a plane and you look in the cockpit, you see the pilot has a sheet and he's checking off, or she's checking off, they're checking off 50 different things. And if one of those things does not check right, you're not flying until it's fixed. That's how we're looking at the human body too. So let's say we're finding different things, and let's say we touch this reflex for your heart and your lung and they go weak. We're gonna make note of that, and we're gonna find out what has blown out that circuit. So basically, we're all just like a big house, and certain things happen that blow our circuits, so to speak. We here at the Cohn Health Institute, in this analogy, are looking at the circuit breaker more than we're looking at the light bulb. The light bulb could be, my knee hurts. The light bulb can be, I have indigestion. The light bulb may be, I have a headache. The light bulb may be, I've been told my thyroid's not working right. But what we're interested in is why. So for example, let's say you get home to your house and you flip on 6 different light switches and none of the lights go on. You don't think that serendipitously every light bulb decided to burn out at the same moment in time. That would be crazy. Now, you don't have to be an electrician, but you may say to yourself, hey, I know there's this box in the garage and I haven't opened it maybe in my lifetime, but wipe those cobwebs off, but I'll open it and there's 14 switches. 13 of them are to the left and there's this one lonely switch to the right. I wonder what would happen if I move this switch over with its friends, right? And the house is gonna blow up. No, I'm just kidding. Basically what's gonna happen is all the lights are gonna come on, right? But if somebody in the house has too many blow dryers and curling irons plugged in, then they're gonna blow that circuit again. So again, if the lights are out, that might be your symptom, but we wanna know why. Otherwise, like most doctors and most clinics, we're just gonna be chasing your symptoms around because anything could cause anything. We're more interested in why it's there, okay? And again, the why is gonna be something physical, something nutritional, or something emotional. So one of those 3 categories in pretty much everybody. So what we're gonna do next is we're going to look at an example of some of the many things so you can see how we would get information from the body using muscle response testing.